you know, these are my Livingstonian leaves, and I've dried them, and when they dry, they become like this, you know, all very frilly and wavy, and you feel the swell, don't you, the cloaks and things. Well, I felt the swell, because obviously he was going on about this dancing and everything, and he was saying to me, keep up, and I was out of breath. And he said that he would, you know, want to dance again. I said, oh, I said, I'll have to sit down. I said, I'll have to have a rest. Oh dear. We've got to move over this way, haven't we? And not to worry. There we go. But it's our shield at the front, and I want our shield to be at the front. Yes, that'll do that. Yes, so he was sort of very nice gentleman. Yes, nice gentleman. But he did want to carry on with the dancing. And I just said, well, you know, I think I need to sit down and have a rest. And he said, oh, really? So I said, well, yes, I'm going to have a rest, you know, my legs hurt, my knees hurt, and everything else hurt, you know. And these are my, these are my Silicia leaves, and they grow like this as well, and they dry like this, put it that way. And I thought they were quite interesting, really, because they look like his spears, and you don't want one of them, you know. So anyway, so the thing is, he was very gracious and all that, and he said that he wanted, you know, and he was looking for another wife. Oh. Well, don't look at me, I've already got one husband. He said, well, I'm a husband, he said, but I've got 5 wives. I said, well, don't look at me, you know, because obviously one husband is enough. And, but he sort of carried on to say that this, he said, did you realise was a fertility dance? He said, the higher you go, he said, you know, the meaning, the more you sort of have a husband or wife. And I said, well, to be honest, I said, you know, like I said to you before, I've got one husband. He said, well, you know, that's absolutely fine. He said, what are you doing tomorrow night? I said, oh, I'll wash my hair. I can't come out tomorrow night. And I said, I'm sure you'll find somebody else to, you know, to dance with you. So he said, well, he said, I'd like you. So I bet you would. But, you know, if I went back to Kenya again, which I'd like to, I'd have to pass by the dancing. Because it was all a bit, you know, sort of all a bit much, but, you know, we got there in the end. Went back to my husband, he was sitting, you know, and he was then sort of getting his money out. I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, he said, I thought I'd pay him to dance with you. I said, oh. And then, no thanks. I said, I've had enough, you know, dancing. Didn't think you, you know, want to get rid of me that soon. But anyway, he said, oh, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I said, no, don't. This is the Dracaena red tip, and you can have it sort of folded back on itself. So a good tip when you do your competition work. These are very excellent leaves when they don't fall on the floor. And you know, they're very shiny as well, very luxurious, and they're not too much in money. And you can buy a plant, and a plant would actually serve you a great purpose because you could use that plant again. And with these, like I say, they're very nice to have an arrangement, very different. So that's the Dracaena red tip. They look like pink, but it's red. That's what they call it. Yeah. Okay. So yes, so we had a lovely time at Kenya. Saw some fantastic animals. A lovely lioness who was obviously gone back from a hunt and came past the 4x4 because they're very, very happy to go past you know, the tracks because they're used to the tracks. Just park. And so when they go past the trucks, they sort of look up. And she looked at me and I looked at her, and we had this wonderful sort of like moment. Do you know what I mean? And she, because I'm Leo the Lion, you know, that was absolutely lovely, you know, to have her look at me and I looked at her. But that's all I did, because obviously her paws were like dinner plates. And honestly, she must have had babies close by as well, so that makes a difference, doesn't it, when they have babies close by. So I wasn't as silly as what a gentleman was when he got out of his car, and when we were on the part of the range, you know, the savannah, the Masai Mara. He decided to sort of get out of his car, and this was a lovely leopard on the behind everybody else. This lovely leopard was sitting there and sunning himself on this stone, and he thought, oh look, here comes breakfast.
Oh.
And this gentleman got out of his car. Our sort of you know, our rangers were going mental and telling him to get back in, because he was sort of sunning himself, and he was looking at his, yes, I've got that paw and that paw. Yeah, that's quite nice, that paw. And this guy then decided to get back in. Within a few, well, a blink of an eye, the leopard was there next to his car, thinking to himself, oh dear, I've just missed breakfast.